don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion!
Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I don't.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. I started out with the full screen so you can see the lovely ladies we are here to talk about. Happy Memorial Day. If you were not here this morning, I did not already wish you one. If you were, I'll say it again. Happy Memorial Day. Have a reflecting, relaxing into your long weekend, honoring the veterans, troops, families, anyone that didn't make it back, anyone that was still missing. Just will commemorate them on this day. Hope you enjoyed your Veterans Day and are just gearing up to get going for whatever you may have on your plate for tomorrow. And those of you that joined me this morning, I loved our lively chat. So people dropped down from the bushes that had not been here before. I'm glad, and I welcome every single one. So what I'm going to do is go through, start, and we will get started with these ladies. This is going to be Real Housewives of Rhode Island. This is season 1. They are on episode 9, Questionable Behavior. They're still cutting up like the newbies that they are. They don't know that they're supposed to try and trick us, have storyline, be fake. Thank them for not doing that. And I hope they don't learn to do that. And I hope if they do learn to do that, they get ushered out. We don't want to see it. Housewives of Atlanta, this is what we want to see. Beverly Hills, all of you. Potomac, this is what we want to see. So let me go through and welcome everyone in, and then I will start the review. American born, don't stay away from me. American born, come in and take a seat. We are still reworking and tweaking the theme song, but that is based on gorgeous Gen X legend Lenny Kravitz's American Woman. So that's a start. That's for our very own American born. Thank you so much for joining me, Mama Bees. Hey, Sandra P, chat, mods. Hello, Mama Bees. I hope you are doing well this afternoon. Please hit the like button as you enter the chat. Thank you. Yes, I would love it when you use it as a doorbell so you don't forget on the way out. But even if you do, or your team replay, click the like button, team replay, you get the hype feature. So thank you for that. CC, welcome back. Thank you. One of the moderators who came in to join me on this amazing Memorial Day. Welcome to at Sandra P's Gen Extra. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to enjoy all the amazing content. Thank you so much, CC. I appreciate that. Thank you. And CC is saying good afternoon to everyone that is already in the chat. American Born is speaking back to everyone in the chat, including CC, and Mama Bees is greeting her sister moderator. So those of you that are here, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to start with the review. We'll go through, and then I'll go back and get some comments. So thank all of you that are here during this live. I appreciate it. Okay, again, we are on Real Housewives of Rhode Island, season 1. This is their episode 9, Questionable Behavior. We start out where we left off. We are in the aftermath, everybody. We are still at Rosie's house. Rosie is having a fit. She's still upset. She's have a heightened level of annoyance with Kelsey. Kelsey's in her car, shaking and driving. She's on the phone with Liz already. Kelsey, we see you, girl. You're not as nonchalant as you're trying to pretend to be. Liz wants to know, well, how did the haircut go? What's going on? We didn't even make it to the haircut. Rosie is in there saging her house. Is there anything they don't learn from us? Rosie, where you get this from? Rosie is saging her space, and she is spraying a protection spray. Everybody knows if you have aired and let a demon or a human vampire or the other type in your home, you immediately need to sage. You immediately need to pray and get a protection spray, whatever you need to do to get that energy out of your home. So we see Rosie going through that. And now we see Liz on the phone with Kelsey. Kelsey saying, we didn't even get to the haircut. And I'm saying, Kelsey, tell her how you drove up with a siren on and a bullhorn. But Kelsey doesn't do that. She freaked out. She started yelling at me. She started saying that I date married men. She was telling me I slept with 6 guys and all this kind of stuff. She slept with 6 guys and a basketball coach, 2 basketball coaches. And now I'm the garden too. Kelsey is lying her face off. Liz is on the other end of the line. Liz, I can't believe you falling for this. Liz is saying, I just can't believe this. Why did she start doing all of that? But Kelsey, of course, does not tell Liz what the real problem is. I'm surprised that Liz is going for this. Kelsey's lying her face off. We get Rosie in a confessional. Rosie is saying that none of this is true. These are some of the lies they have been spreading on her all summer. And this is why we see Rosie finally get to a level where maybe they cannot come back from. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Kelsey does a whole confessional, I believe, lying on Rosie. I never dated a married man in my life. Rosie slept with not one but two. And then the story is she didn't lose her job. She didn't stop her job because of colitis. She stopped her job because she was dating married men, and then she ruined one person's life and their relationship. Kelsey is saying all this stuff about Rosie, y'all. It is a mess. Let me go back through before I finish. I want to greet others that have come into the chat. Welcome in, CDW. I'm so great to see you. It's so great to see you. Thank you. American Born loves her new theme song that I'm working on, and it's from our great Gen X. I call him a rocker god. He's gorgeous. Lenny Kravitz. You know that man is 60 years old, but again, Janet Jackson is too. And Johnny Gill from New Edition. So we're working on that. American Born, don't stay away from me. We need to put Liz in timeout for her attitude. American Born, I have to blame the menopause or whatever it is. I'm really upset and disappointed with her this episode. And by the end of the episode, I wanted to tug my cloak off her. I can't do it. I won't go against my own rules. I didn't take my cloak off Liz, but she would have deserved it. Welcome in, CDW. She says, hello, everyone. Welcome in. We have just started with these ladies, Real Housewives of Rhode Island. They are too much. Liz got on my nerves. Rosie is still trying to defend herself a little bit. Kelsey is still a liar. And poor Ashley. We get to see her cry and break down a couple of times, but it's justified. American Born said Rula Shore missed a lot of money this season for not showing up. American Born, she didn't deserve second chair. If she's going to be a friend of, be friend of, but don't come here and just call out sick because this and that is going on. I enjoyed her in the scene that she had on the beach with Alycia. I enjoy Rula when she shows up. Still don't like Brian, but I think you are right that Rula's leaving money on the table. And nobody wants to be uncomfortable, go to their job and face people that are attacking them or people they don't like. But Rula, on any other job, you would do that. So I don't like the fact she's not showing up. Everyone is speaking to CDW. CDW saying what I think. Kelsey is full of ish. She is. She's a big liar. You're going to make your whole confessional about this lady that you antagonized. Drove up to her house with a siren. Got on the phone with Liz and lied like a rug. I didn't like it at all. American Born agrees. Now, Chelsea, I look at Chelsea as she's in her early 30s, but she's 10 years stunted growth. So I will give her maybe having the same sentiments as I would toward a very young woman. But that's her own fault. Kelsey, that's your fault. You didn't start your life until 10 years later, until that old man threw you back out to fend for yourself. Excuse me, I had to have hot tea because my throat started giving up. So Rosie supposedly has slept with all these people on her job. I think that these are lies, Kelsey. I don't think Rosie has said anything about you that you haven't already said was the truth, such as you are with a man, that she was in an open relationship with, to the point where he was dating others, she was dating others. She just had use of his mansion half the year, and he stayed in Miami with the other woman half the year. So I don't like what Kelsey's doing, trying to ruin Rosie's reputation. So Kelsey's in her confessional, trying to spill all Rosie's tea. I don't believe it. She's telling Liz, and Rosie was talking down to me as soon as I came in. So then she brings up the rumor again about these married men that Rosie was supposedly sleeping with and accused Kelsey of. I believe Rosie. I don't believe Kelsey on this. I'm with CDW and AB. I think she's a piece of ish. Sorry, Kelsey. I don't believe you. She says, and then she's saying that my boyfriend paid off the judges. One of the guys she was actually sleeping with was one of the judges. It's this whole rigmarole. We don't buy it, Kelsey. You're trying to clean it up. And we know when she threw that out, when Rosie threw that out, that hit Kelsey where she lived because she re-entered the home. She kept bringing it up. And now here she is in her first confessional talking about it again. So maybe we would have thought that Rosie was telling a lie or somehow not believed it. But the fact that it's really bothering Kelsey and she keeps bringing it up, maybe you weren't really Rhode Island. By fair and square, as you said, maybe you weren't. So I feel like Kelsey is wrong here. She didn't tell Liz about the siren or the bullhorn. Liz is on the other end of the phone saying, I'm speechless right now. Speechless is good for you, Liz, because when you started talking later, I just wanted you to be quiet again. Liz embarrassed me and herself a couple times during this episode. I hope she gets over it. Kelsey's looking really dumb. I have to agree, AB. I want her to not act like it's high school, but just you can have rivalries in your 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever age, but not like this. It has to be started out with a little grain of truth. You don't just jump in and start lying on the other person. And then she had the nerve to say in the confessional, I'm not saying I was in the room with them when they were doing it, but this is what I heard. You don't know. Rosie said it is untrue. You don't know. And now you're just trying to ruin her reputation. So I don't like it. Rosie is selling have a slam pig summer shirts. Oh my goodness. Now Kelsey's acting like it doesn't bother her. Let's see what she says about this. So we get in the second scene, Jared and Ashley are at some type big box store or restaurant depot, and they are getting some stuff for trivia night. Ashley's like one of those little kids you take to the store. She's looking at everything but like what they really need. Look at this huge chocolate bar. It's 11 pounds. And she picks it up. Jared is pushing the cart, that huge cart that they're using. He's putting stuff in there, snacks, things like that. They're talking about it. Well, should this be the winner for trivia? They're like, no, that's not a good. Who's going to take home an 11-pound chocolate bar? So they put that back. That's not the winner. I think you'd have to be a baker for that. But the two of them are cute. Jared's laughing. She's naming all the people that are coming, but she's scared because she's now heard, of course, about what happened between Kelsey and Rosie. And Jared's like, well, you got to invite everybody. I think that's a good idea. Y'all, I might have skipped a scene. I'll go with Jared and them, and then I'll go back to this scene. So he's telling her, well, you might have to, he said, do what you want to do. But if anybody's making you feel like you can't invite them or invite another person, don't let them put you in that scenario. Okay, I didn't skip a scene. What happened is while Jared and Ashley are at the restaurant depot, Rosie dials in. She's on a FaceTime call. She's telling Ashley about everything that happens, and Ashley invites her to trivia night. And then Rosie tries to pull one of those rookie mistakes that some of the new housewives do. If she goes, I'm not going. Rosie, this is both you ladies' job. So I don't think you should try to ban Kelsey from anywhere. You don't have to invite her to your personal stuff, but this is Ashley's event, and you shouldn't do that to Ashley. I agreed with Jared, who's like, don't fall into that. Welcome in, Sharon Gobble. Thank you for dropping down into the live to say hello. It is good to see you a second time on Memorial Day. Thank you. Everyone speaking to Sharon as she comes in, and she is speaking back. Thank you so much. Good to see you. So they're getting produce, all this other kind of stuff. And Rosie lets her know it's either her or me. Ashley's non-committal. I think I'm going to go ahead and invite anybody. I was with Ashley. I don't like when people start doing that stuff. So they're still shopping. She's taking Jared's advice to heart, which I agree with. They're getting Doritos, ginger ales, all this kind of stuff. And Jared's saying he hoped that nobody ruins trivia night. And Ashley's like, she's going to try to keep the girls on a tight leash because they will ruin trivia night if they show up and if they start arguing. But she is getting so much anxiety about it. And we know it doesn't take a lot for poor little Ashley to start having anxiety. So Rosie actually told the full story about while they were on the phone. She said when she pulled up to the house for the haircut, she already had a siren going. She had a bullhorn saying 8,000 square feet. Ashley immediately starts laughing, and she asked Rosie, could she have been joking? Now Rosie lies. No, she wasn't joking. She said she was joking at the time. I don't feel like the joke was well timed. I don't think that they were in the right place for the joke. But Kelsey has always maintained, I was joking. It wasn't funny, but she was joking. So Rosie's saying with a straight face to Ashley, no, she wasn't joking. She's just trying to upset me. She's trying to disrespect me in the home. Jared and Ashley are kind of laughing about it. The joke was really corny, but it was a joke. Rosie's saying, what kind of person drives up with a siren? And Ashley is saying, yeah, I don't agree with that. I told her to get the F out of my house, Rosie said. Ashley couldn't believe it. Now, you didn't tell her, Rosie, did you tell her that you picked that big old bag up and threw that outside? So they're telling like selective parts of the story to make them look good. But Rosie put most of the real truth in, and Kelsey embellished a lot more than Rosie. I will say that. American Born says, see, even Ashley has a sense of humor about it. American Born, when Rosie was still so upset and telling that story, Ashley started laughing out loud. And Jared, who's busy shopping, he was laughing too. So if you were in the right place, you could receive it as a joke. But I just feel like Kelsey should have been more mature and realized Rosie feels like I've been picking on her all summer and she's not going to laugh at this. And then one thing Kelsey does bring up, well, she had a map or she had the plans out for me to look at. So she was trying to make a joke on me. That's true. But both of you should realize neither one of you were in the place. Right. She slung that bag out, a big heavy bag, one of those wheeled kits. So little Rosie was really upset. She had that Wonder Woman strength. She said, get the F out of my house. Slam pig. And now she's making t-shirts. But Kelsey is pretending that it doesn't bother her, and it does. This whole thing bothered Kelsey. So Jared is saying, I just want everyone to come and have fun. I agree with Jared. And he says, I don't want you to be in this position. Ashley doesn't want to be in the position either. So Rosie's still trying to make her pick sides. Ashley is inviting all the ladies. Now, Rula is going to call out again. We know how Rula is. He said, do whatever you think is the best thing to do. And I like most of these husbands. I think the messiest one, Jerry, even he tries to remain like in the middle. Or Gary with the glitter jacket. Jerry is Liz's husband. So Ashley ends up inviting everybody. We see more beautiful Rhode Island scenery, and they are at Mountain Oak State Park Beach or something like that. Rula is putting on her suntan lotion. Rula has the worst luck. She has her phone in her hand. She starts putting on the lotion, drops the phone, and at the exact time, the tide comes in, runs over Rula's phone. She picks it up and she's like, oh, it still works. So Rula, somebody's looking out for you. You're getting all these warnings, but you don't heed the warnings. So that is Rula's problem. Welcome in, Linda Gamble, one of the moderators. Thank you so much for coming back to Sandra Peace Gen Extra. It is great to see you in the live. Hello. And we're doing the Real Housewives. Linda speaking to everyone. Also, hello, Cece, my niece. So we are on episode 9 with these ladies. Season 1, episode 9, Rhode Island. Questionable behavior, which they've all had since episode 1, but it's their season 1, so we'll allow it. We actually love it. So she is waiting for Alycia. Alycia comes in without stilettos. She is tiny. She's littler than Rula, and Rula's tiny as well. So she walks out. They start complimenting each other. They're glad to see each other. Oh my God, I was going to wear those shades. What if I'd worn those same shades? We would have been twinning. It would have been so funny. They start hugging each other. Alicia's one of those people, when you see her and she starts talking, you just start smiling. And that's why I'm so upset with Liz about later and how she handled Alycia. Because, Alicia's our baby too. Everyone's wearing the cloak, but Alycia and Ashley have a special place in my heart. I just feel like they're really pure spirits. And I don't like to see people like that beaten up verbally or any other way. Mama Bees is speaking to Linda and everyone else. Linda says, sorry, I'm late. Just finished watching Kelly's interview with no chaser. Yes, Chase has his boots on the ground over there. I have to finish watching it. I see he went down to Nana's Chicken and Waffles, the one that's still open, and he'll be talking to Kelly. Everyone, she's speaking of Kelly from Real Housewives of Atlanta. So Kelly should be doing more stuff like that. Everyone is speaking to Linda and she comes in. Portia said the pastor is John Gray. Oh God, we should have known. Daventa, what you gonna do, girl? They had to come off that show. Oprah had that show for them, her own show with a garden tool pastor and a willfully blind wife. He cheated on her 1 year so bad, y'all. They're local. They're like right in South Carolina, maybe an hour and a half from me. I'm North Carolina. He cheated on Daventa so bad, he had to buy that woman a Lamborghini. I said, look at this. This man is a guard tool for sure, a preaching one. And I don't trust John Gray as far as I can throw him. Now, I didn't know he was a pilot. And we were thinking it's Ben Tankard. Again, there's a lot of names out there. Some people think it's Giselle's ex-husband. So Rula and Alycia are greeting each other on the beach. They are so excited to see each other, excited about the possibility of twinning in their sunglasses. And they just start talking to each other, asking about each other's children. Luca is at baseball camp. Little Selena is at some type of like a girls empowerment thing. I love that, Alycia. Alycia is really mindful of making Celine like one of these girls that's going to grow up kind of girl power. because the way she is with Billy, she doesn't like it. She recognizes it. And that's going to be one of my favorite scenes this episode. Yeah, I'm just loving Alycia. So they're complimenting each other on their children. What are the children up to? A woman named Amanda came up with it. She's like, Amanda? They start hugging. Oh, this is Joellen's neighbor. Rula starts looking guilty. Rula, don't start this fake stuff. I don't think Amanda was at the beach by chance. I think Rula invited Amanda to the beach because y'all look at who Amanda is. Amanda is Joellen's next door neighbor. She no longer speaks to Joellen because Joellen has done something to her, probably gossip. We know how she investigates. So everybody is speaking. Millichan just talked about it. Oh, I know Millichan was on somebody's tracks. I didn't know it was John Gray. I got to go over there and check it out. I totally believe Ben Tanker, since he's a pilot. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know anything about John Gray flying. I don't. Shara Hill. Hello, Sandra P. and chat. Hi, Shara Hill. It is great to see you in the live. We're talking about these Rhode Island ladies, but earlier we had a Atlanta review, and so we're still trying to figure out this married man that supposedly Kelly has slept with. So far, the clues are that he's one of Phaedra's clients. He is a pilot. He has a family. Phaedra knows him. Candy knows him. Something else they said about him. They said he's a pastor. So people are thinking that fits John Gray. People are thinking that fits Ben Tankard. I've thrown in, just for good measure, Mr. Chocolate, the man that you are sleeping with, Jamal Bryant. We know there's a lot of Garden Tool pastors in and around Atlanta. Everybody's greeting and welcoming in Shara Hill. And she said, hello, America Born. I don't blame Rula for getting at Joellen. Well, I don't either. I didn't expect it from her because Rula's one of them ones. They always describe her. Rula's so buttoned down. Rula's a trip too. I think Rula can get with you if she wants to. We've seen her do it. We saw her back Liz up episode 1 or 2. American Born is laughing. Do you think Amanda just chose that day to have a beach day, American Born? I didn't. The second I saw Rula's face, you know who she is? This is Joellen's neighbor. You remember her? And Alycia was like, yeah, Joellen's neighbor. So finds out they're not talking. And we need to find out what Joellen has done. She says we have issues. I don't know what Joellen has done. Y'all, I still like Joellen. She's a mess. And we'll allow it because her mom is a terrible lady. I forgot that whole scene. The mother triggered me so bad. I don't believe her. I think the quick apology she gave to Jen and to Joellen was because they were on TV. And I think she's damaged both her girls. And that's all I have to say about that lady. I can't stand her. Everyone speaking back and forth to each other. Thank you, Linda. 7 likes and 7 in the chat. I love when you make it match, everyone. Thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe, and hype the video. Yes, if you are Team Replay, you get to do all of those things in addition to the hype feature, which I love. It's for new and growing content creators. We get a confessional with Rula. Now, y'all are calling Rula correctly, I believe. She says, the thing about Joellen, I don't know who she thinks she is, some kind of detective or somebody. She says she's really just being a douche. Rula, I've never heard a woman call another woman a douche. Rula will insult you like a man. And she probably get right on the phone and dial 911 if somebody starts trying to fight. I'm with you, Rula. I'm a lover, not a fighter as well. So Rula cracked me up in her confessional when she said that about Joellen. Y'all, Joellen's going to have a fit. I already watched the after show. It was only like 15 minutes. And I don't think they brought that up to Joellen because I would remember. Joellen's not going to like that at all. So Rula is saying, I feel so bad about everything that's happened. There's 2 sides to every story. And Rosie's probably feeling stabbed in the back too. So I do like the fact that Rula and also Alycia have been willing to hear Rosie's side of the story, unlike Liz, who only wants to believe everything that Kelsey says and just treats Kelsey like whatever Kelsey says can't be wrong because that is her friend. Shara Hill, I'm here to support you. I don't watch TV. Oh, Shara, that makes it even more special. Thank you so much. I try to give detailed reviews and then addition my opinion, and then when the chat comes in as well. So I hope you can follow these crazy ladies, even though you don't watch them. Sharon Gabor is laughing and American Born is laughing. Yeah, Rula is a trip. I think y'all have Rula right. Rula's supposed to be so innocent, but Brian might be catching hell over there too. He's just doing his stuff publicly. Rula, keep it up. I don't have a problem with it. So she is saying that it's hard. You don't want to show up to these events when all this stuff is going on. She's talking to Amanda and Alycia on the beach now. She says, you just feel like you want to protect yourself from this bad energy. I can agree with that. But again, this is her job. She needs to be there. I miss Rula when she's not there. I think she is an important part of this ensemble cast because, again, I think she is neutral. She's objective. Unlike Liz, and Liz, I'm upset with Liz. I recognize her as a HBIC, but how are you going to be that when you can't be neutral and be objective? Because Liz really showed her little tail by the end of this episode. I'm going to get on her. And so Alycia says, yeah, she said, I agree. I'm not going to judge you, Rula, because Rula's starting to feel like people are judging her for staying with Brian. They talk about him a little bit. And Alycia was still feeling bad about them enlisting her to go to Rula's home, sit down in a joint dinner with Pizza Billy and Brian, and then tell this woman, your husband's cheating, and then show her some video that Joellen or someone else has taken. So I agree with Alycia not following through. How long have you been together? She's asking Rula. Rula says 12 years. Alycia saying that's a long time. And then Rula saying, God forbid it happens to you. It'll bring you down. Rula, which one of these ladies are you threatening? Is it Liz? We already heard her threaten Liz like, well, you went through your stuff and Gary went through his stuff. That was episode 1 or 2. So are you going to tell us something else about Gary in the glitter jacket? I don't know. Rula is a trip. She said, Brian used to kiss the ground that I walk on. So it's been very hard to believe that he could do this now. Rula, Brian is a love bomber. We outed Brian as being very socially awkward. He's one of those kids. He's probably really smart. He's probably a nerd. And when he became a doctor and he started making money, and now he has this other business where they do the injectables and all this stuff, there's a lot of money in that. Even regular doctors take that on. I had an eye doctor one time talking about, yeah, I just got my certificate. I'm doing Botox and all this kind of stuff. And I'm looking at him like, wrong client, because I didn't ask you anything about that. Okay. I want you to see my expressions. But Brian is a podiatrist, and now he's doing all this other stuff. So I can understand what Rula's going through, but I want Brian gone yesterday. I want her to go ahead and kick him out. But it's on her own time. And Alicia's sympathizing with her. I won't judge you. I agree with whatever it is you want to do. So the other thing that concerns me about Rula, the side piece that Brian has selected, as Rich said, she doesn't have good mistress etiquette. She's a dangerous woman. She seems as infatuated with Rula as she does Brian. The fact that she's been in or around Rula's house, and when Rula goes to a place, here come the mistress doing a selfie by herself in the place and tagging Bravo, Andy, and everybody's mama. Y'all, that's crazy. That's scary to me. Rula's doing herself a disservice. I think she is American born. I think the more that she shows up, she's going to get more people on her team. But this ducking and dodging and hiding and fake sick and all this kind of stuff, I don't think it's right. Maybe Kelsey has some dirt on Liz. Maybe, I don't know why they're so close. Or maybe, oh yeah, you know what? She also, her and Dino down by the seawall, by the water, had some stuff going on. So there might have been pillow talk between Dino and Kelsey, because Liz, it's more than just her not being objective. She automatically goes with whatever Kelsey says and goes hard. And both of them, they can be wrong. Rosie is a little bit wrong. Kelsey's a little bit wrong. But according to Liz, Kelsey was an angel and Rosie just attacked her. American born, that's what I'm thinking also. Sharon, it has to be something, because it doesn't make sense. Rula doesn't need to bring Brian. We don't want to see him. I agree. I don't want to see him at all. I wonder if they're going to even show to the reunion. She has her seat. She's second seat. So if she wants to come back, she'll be there. Great minds at Sharon. Yeah, both of y'all were typing that something, that got to be something going on between Kelsey and Liz, with maybe Kelsey having some type of dirt on Liz. We don't know. Yeah, Dino, that's the pass around. Yes, men can be that too. I've seen the pictures of him. I think Dino's an attractive man. Certain angles, he looks kind of ominous, but I think he's nice looking, if you like that type. So those two have been together 12 years. And Alicia's saying, well, my dad and mom had gotten back together a lot of times. I try not to judge my mom, but the mother struggled financially, emotionally, and she felt bad, and she felt that she had burdened her kids. Alycia lets us know, either in a confessional, and then she might have also told Rula. Alycia got a chance to sit down with her mom. Production showed us a little bit of the scene. Production, I would have rather seen this scene between Alycia and her mom than this Joellen and Jen's bum over here putting them in homes because she's scared they're going to pick up her men. Disgusting. But we saw just a little snippet of Alycia and her mom. And the mom said, your dad was a piece of ish. I'm sorry I took him back. I'm sorry the position he put the family in. We know he ended up with the family home, and his wife and children had to go and live back with her mother. So Alycia lost her little car bed and her little dolls and stuff, and they ended up moving back into the grandmother's basement. So that is another thing Alicia's traumatized by. And when she shared it with the group, Liz is going, "You weren't homeless. You were never homeless." And I didn't pay attention, but this time when production showed the scene from when they went to Newport, Liz is almost doing la 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 la. You weren't homeless. You weren't homeless, trying to protect Alicia's family over Alycia, who's sitting right next to her, hosting the trip. So Liz, I'm still upset with you. Alycia is speaking to Rula again about, if Billy were to leave me, I could go through what my mom and me went through, and I've got to have a talk with him. Rula is telling her, well, me as a financial advisor, I don't think I would be in that boat, but you got to start little by little, just educating yourself more, put something together to tell Billy. This is what I thought from episode 1. I watch Billy a lot. I listen. I don't see him as a type of man that'll be like, yeah, you and your daughter, get out of here, even though that's his child, like a Lenny in Miami. I don't see it. Billy proposed to Alycia 10 years ago. They have the daughter. He never brought it up again. He waiting on her to plan a wedding. But she said the prenup, she's not in it, and he has the businesses, the home, everything else. But again, I don't think that she thinks that it's his intention to shut her out. So Rula is saying, just present this to him. You got to tell him. And Alicia's saying she'll do that. She said, I always did start putting something aside. And Alycia being Alycia, I started with $10 a week. So Rula's laughing. You got to start somewhere. So Alicia's just the cutest, y'all. Let me just read through the comments. America Born is joking. They can both go visit Dino in prison. You know how many of those Italians, and I'm not stereotyping, I'm just saying, I watch a lot of TV and also grew up in Yonkers a lot. Italian, Irish, Black, Puerto Rican. Those were the breakdowns. So they will have lists of people that go to the prison, and the women will be getting into it with each other, that their husband is being visited by this one and that one. So yeah, there'll be multiple people on the list visiting Dino, I'm sure. I wonder if Aaron Hernandez's ex, he had a baby with her, if she'll go up there. He's going to have a long list, certainly. Sherrod Hill says, sounds like the mom tells it how it is. Yeah, she is. She didn't try to pretty anything up for TV, Sherrod Hill. That's Alicia's mom. A terrible mom that we have on here ends up being Joe Ellen's mom. This lady actually had teen daughters that got pretty. They got bodies in their teens. And the mom started putting them away in homes. So in Rhode Island, I don't know what you have to prove, not much. But she even had one of them in like a rehab. The girl had never drank or done drugs. She just used to flirt with boys and sometimes sneak out. I'm really upset with how Liz treated Alycia. American Born, me too. I didn't like it in Newport. I remember us talking about it in Newport. And then as we see Alycia try to explain it more and then letting her know this really upset me and how flippant Liz is. And then she's going to get mad and even got mad at Joe Ellen. But we will get there. But yeah, I'm with you. Alycia can't help how she feels that really affected her, what her father did. Yeah, and the mother said too, this man was a piece of ish, and he was. How do you as a man end up with the house? The man leaves the home. All things being equal. I don't care what any of these people are saying. Well, 50-50. Why is the man got to leave? Because the wife usually is the one doing the care of the children. Now, I'm not saying that's always the case, but the majority of the time, that is the case. So Alycia started out at $10 a week. I guess she's saving a lot more now. And she's going to put together a plan for Pizza Billy at Rula's encouragement, which I love that. I'm glad these two are friends. They're kind of bonding a little bit more. Amanda has drifted off back on the beach. Amanda, Rula called you and told you what was going on. So Alycia is in a confessional. She said she's really listening and paying attention to what Rula says because Rula's a financial planner. And also the fact that she wants Selena to be able to be independent and not depend on a man like she depends on Billy. And Alycia also says in that confessional, she's worried because they're not married. So a lot of these people are screaming, you got 10 years, common law. Not necessarily. It depends on the state you're in and a lot of different things it depends on. It's not automatic. Because Kelsey had the nerve to fix her mouth to say that. That was crazy. That was so cute, the board with her daughter. Yes, American Born, that is one of my favorite scenes. We get to see Alycia and her mini-me, Selena. When Rula said put together a plan for Billy, they went to the store and they got some poster boards and they put together a plan for Billy. Billy was at time laughing. He was kind of concerned. He was just a proud dad, a proud husband to be, but I really enjoyed the way Billy reacted to them. And I think he took it seriously. I think Alycia got what she wanted or is going to get what she wanted. So next we see a steakhouse. There are couples going up to the steakhouse. It's going to be 6 of them. So the 3 couples. We have Gary and Liz, Joellen and Gary, Liz and Jerry. The 2 G's drive me crazy. Liz and Jerry, Kelsey and Billy. More beautiful Rhode Island scenery. They are at Cranston, one of the steakhouses. And let me read this before we go to the steakhouse. See, Alycia had great ideas, and selling merch will be smart as well. Billy needs to listen. American Born, I think he did. I looked to me like he was. I don't think it was just for TV, because these husbands don't seem to be that type. Believe it or not, I think Brian might be the one most impressed with being on TV, even though he looks the worst. Brian, get off of TV, please. So they're at the steakhouse. Kelsey is still really bothered by Rosie. Everything that Rosie said is ringing in her ears. Here's how I know. As the couple start to take a seat, somebody motions for Kelsey to take the seat next to Gary. And Joellen was already sitting across the table. All of y'all know each other. This is fine. They all hug as they come in, greet each other. When Kelsey gets to that seat, she was like, no, I can't sit here. I want to sit next to mine and you sit next to yours because I don't sleep with married men. Gary is just looking at her like, we just having steak. You could have sat down. She would not sit next to Joellen's husband. Joellen's telling Billy, I really wanted to sit next to you, but it's okay. So Kelsey, Rosie got you where you live, and I think you do sleep with married men. All of this is allegedly and in my opinion. But I know she would not, she didn't even sit down. She had to switch seats. We get a confessional, and she says, contrary to popular belief, I don't sleep with married men. I wrote down, Kelsey, I don't care. Because I didn't know if that were true or not, but now I'm kind of believing that Rosie was telling the truth. So she said, I went from one man that I was with for 10 years and he never paid me to suck D's. And I went to the next one and I sucked D's for free. That's what she said, y'all. I like to embellish and I'll put little Sandra P. isms on something. No, this is what this lady said. She went from the 10-year one to the next and she sucks X for free. And I wrote down, Kelsey, that is not a flex. Y'all see why I also have the cloak, not only over the whole show, I also have it over Kelsey. This girl is pitiful. She thought that was cute. She got on TV and said that. She really did. Oh, that was sad. AB says, oh, yes, she was big mad. Rosie got her. When you're remembering what the person said the next day, the next week, oh, yes, she got her. 7 Live 7 in the chat. Thank you so much. Sharon is laughing. She said it. She said it, Sharon. You know, I like to just be funny and silly, but no, she said that. So Rosie has already called, and Kelsey asked, what do you know? This is the last time I checked. Let me see. Rosie and Joellen weren't even buddies. So Joellen was saying, well, what happened? And Kelsey's paranoid. What do you know? And then Joellen said, well, Rosie called me, and Liz and Kelsey are smirking. You're not even friends. For her to call you, Yeah, Rosie was trying to call people that would accept her call and get her story out because she knew Kelsey was calling all around. Lying. Kelsey, you were lying. So Rosie and Joellen, as we knew, were not the best buddies, but Joellen is so nosy and such a detective and investigator. She's going to take the call and she's going to listen. So Liz is saying, oh, you don't even like her. And Liz went into a confessional and said that. I can't believe that Rosie would call this one sitting across the table from me, and Joellen has told me she don't even like her. Now, when Rosie watches this back, y'all know that's going to hurt her feelings. Liz, if you want to be the HBIC, I'm sorry, you're going to have to act like one. Don't try to isolate Rosie. I don't like that. She already feels that way. I don't think it's fair. But we see what they're doing, and Rosie's right about it. Now that Rosie's recognized it, she's not allowing them to do it, and now they're upset because they have to change their little mean girl ways. So I'd like to see her mediate the situation more, but with how she handled Alycia, I'm not hopeful. Liz, I'm losing faith in you, lady. I'm losing faith. So all the people are talking, and we find Joellen saying, well, what about this whole square footage thing? We get a confessional. Joellen's like, why is Kelsey trying to be square footage police? She said, Rosie was really angry and upset about that. Liz saying she was being combative. It was a joke. It was funny. I don't think it was funny. And then Kelsey saying, you attacked my character. Oh, that was Rosie that was saying that she was attacked. Her character was attacked. Her home was attacked. And Kelsey was saying, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. She was saying that my career was sucking D. You are the one still talking about that, Kelsey. If Kelsey wanted her to laugh about the square footage police and the bullhorn, she should be laughing about cheating to win the pageant. Sucking D or not is a career, but she's not. She's still upset about it. And so now she should understand why Rosie is still upset about the things she said. And AB says, Joellen is the person who says, shut your mouth and keeps on talking. She is. And she is playing all sides of the fence. But the funny thing is, none of them can get too mad about it because they know exactly how she is. They've all gone to her for her investigative skills. So don't be mad about it. Jerry and Gary are cracking up. And Billy's saying, you know, that's not true. Billy, you know that's true. Billy's sitting here and he knows that his girlfriend's bills are still being paid by her ex. And so then Kelsey, you're going to prove Rosie's case, I think, to the end of this season and beyond. Kelsey says, well, I have a question. I want to ask the question of everybody here. So everybody's listening. She said, if you have an ex and the person is still paying your bills, is there anything wrong with that? And the men are like, you know, it's up to you. If he wants to do it, you can do that, this and that. And Liz is looking at her like, I don't know if you should have brought that up. No, it's up to you. You want to take the payments? Joellen finds it funny. Gary finds it funny. Nobody tells her that's right or wrong. Billy ends up saying, well, I don't like it. But Billy, what I have to say to you, you can't afford her car. You can't afford her house or the apartment that she's in. You can't afford her health insurance. Those are the things that the ex is paying for. So Billy kind of needs to stay out of it. We get another confessional with Kelsey. Production, y'all leave Kelsey alone. I was laughing when it first happened. It's a 10 out of 10 episode. But production, don't keep doing this to this girl. Do you know what a slam pig is? Confessional, Kelsey. I didn't really know what a slam pig was. I never heard of one. Then she recites it from memory, y'all. She didn't pull a phone. She didn't do like Drew or Ashley. She recited it from memory. Kelsey, you are not a slam pig. Stop saying that. She's crazy. Liz is back at the table. I find those comments very insulting. I skeeve at those comments. But Liz didn't skeeve at any of the stuff that Kelsey did to Rosie. This is where I don't like the double standard. So they're talking about this trivia thing that Ashley is having. They're betting that Rosie won't go. I'm betting that Rosie will go. And I feel like Kelsey should go, Rosie should go, and they're just going to have to coexist because season 1, episode 9, this is way too early to do this team thing. That we've seen it ruin shows, and we don't want it. We really don't. He knows it's true. Yeah, Billy knows it's true sitting up there, and I wanted to know who picked up the check. I promise you it was probably Liz and Jerry picking up the check. They seem like the type. Since everybody there is younger and Jerry's man about town, I could see him snatching that check because Billy's sitting up there, I'm going to get a filet mignon rare, medium rare, however he took it. Some kind of raw mess he had. I said, look at you, Billy. I know Billy didn't pick it up. So Joellen and all of them, they're talking about whether or not it's right or wrong to have an ex pay your bills. They didn't really come to a conclusion, but Kelsey, if that man, he basically, to me, owes her that. If she's going to accept it, I don't think she should feel embarrassed about it or try to get other people's approval. Girl, you're in your 30s. If this man is willing to pay rent, healthcare, car insurance, let him do it until you get on your feet. And now she's got this job on the show. So I don't know why she's so jealous of Rosie. So she gets in a confessional and says, Billy doesn't want him paying it. And I'm thinking, why is Billy going to pay it? So why is Billy so worried about it? They start talking about Alycia. Kelsey ends up saying, I don't want to be homeless like Alycia. This is what bothers Alycia, that they are being so flip about. Alicia's in her 40s now, but this happened when she was about, production showed the pictures, maybe 6. We don't know how long she lived with the grandmother. The woman has told us she felt homeless. So this shouldn't be the butt of jokes anytime. I don't care. I just don't think it's funny. I don't like it. So Liz is saying, oh, she was saying at Newport that she felt homeless. I knew her as a child. We find out that Joellen's husband, Gary, also knew her as a child. Yeah, I don't remember them going through anything like that. He was a kid as well, so it doesn't matter what he remembers. Alycia had to move back in with her grandmother. So Liz is saying, Yeah, I was trying to stress to everybody, she wasn't homeless. She was never homeless. I don't like her doing that in front of everybody, that she's homeless. She was never homeless. She was never homeless. And even Joe Ellen has to say, well, if she felt that way, we can respect that she felt that way. Liz is like, no, she was never homeless. So homeless and Liz got a problem with that. Don't say anything about homeless around Liz, and also don't talk about ongoing. If you want to get Liz going, talk about homelessness or ongoing. She goes crazy. She says, if you move in with your grandmother, it's not the same as living in a sleeping bag, sleeping under the stars. That's what the country thinks about. That's what the country thinks about. And I think that's the problem. I don't think you should have to be homeless in a tent, toothless, not homeless or whatever, living under the stars. You can have housing insecurity. You could be living paycheck to paycheck. You could be dating someone that you're living with, and if the person says, get out, you can get out. There's a lot of things that would make a person homeless. Y'all are laughing. That is exactly what Liz was doing, Shara Hill. You'd have to hear this lady talk. She's hilarious. So Liz, again, is doubling down. Gary was a child, but she's taking Gary's word for it that, yeah, Alycia and them weren't homeless. I don't remember that family going through that. Now, I made a note. Liz was doing all this talking. She was eating ribs. Y'all, those ribs look so good. I don't know what kind of steakhouse that was, but the food looked really good. Shara Hill says, yeah, that's right. It is. And they're just minimizing what Alycia felt. Alicia's still upset about this, and we'll see it as the episode moves on. So Kelsey had to bring up Rosie. She said, Alicia's been hanging around with Rosie too much. She started exaggerating. Kelsey, you got Rosie on the brain. Rosie just dug right into your head. And we don't know the intricate details of Alicia's life. So y'all, I don't like that. So next, we finally get to Ashley's event. Jared is in the kitchen. Jared is also going to run trivia. So he and Ashley are so excited about it. Ashley is dressed up. She's running around, helping her man get everything ready in their restaurant, Audrey's. So it is a full house. It's packed. So he's packed the place for trivia night. And Ashley says, I'm so nervous. My stomach is in knots since I started this. I don't want everybody to get into it. So Kelsey is coming, Rosie is coming, but I'm going to put them at two separate tables, just surrounded with us. So I thought that was a really good idea, but unfortunately it doesn't work. We will see. So the friends are coming in, the people are already there. And shout out to Rhode Island. I guess everybody wanted to be on camera. Not one blurred face in the house. So if you are familiar with the Rhode Island people, they all got to see themselves on TV. They're sitting there in a position where they can watch these housewives table because they've watched the show over the years, and they know, even though this is season 1, these ladies going to get into it. This is an event, and they're going to act a fool, and we love it. So Ashley's in a confessional. She's saying, I have a lot riding on this. This is our place of business. And I'm like, Ashley, you already know what it is. She said she doesn't want it to be a bad look. So I think Ashley's adorable. She said, my digestion hasn't been right, and I don't like conflict. And she goes in the kitchen to Jared, and she says, I don't know. I'm afraid something's going to arise. And Jared said, if something does arise, we're going to cut out the trivia night. It's going to be over. So I don't blame Jared. Jared has had enough of this. So Rosie shows up in her pink Barbie Jeep. Y'all, Rosie looked cute, but Rosie looked a little ready for battle. She got on these stack-heeled gold shoes, and she's ready. She's already ready to rumble, I could tell. So she comes in. Ashley meets her at the door. They tell each other they look cute. And she says, I got you at a table. You're sitting over here. So she sits Rosie at the table. She's going to put Alycia with her, who's very neutral. Rula, of course, has decided she's not coming. So Rula says she's going to protect her peace. She does not care. But unlike AB, I need Rula to show up. I like when Rula shows up. So Kelsey's coming. Kelsey, Liz came in. Liz is looking cute. They saw Liz coming in. They said, look at Liz. Liz looks 20 years old. Liz dresses really young. She has a youthful air. And we know that she's had work, but she's not like poked and pulled like some of these other 50-plus-year-olds trying to look like babies. So they're all complimenting her. She comes in, and then everybody's sitting down at the table. Joe Ellen is at the table with Liz. They got wine on their table. Jared's pouring drinks for them. And Liz is looking around for everybody else that's coming in. Joe Ellen, of course, was sitting at the other table, but Joe Ellen's like between the two tables. She's fine with that. Ashley is looking for Kelsey. Kelsey has not come in yet. So Joellen is saying, we're going to have fun. She said, it's trivia. She said, you can't have a bad time at trivia time. So Ashley's laughing. Everybody is talking about what happened. And then Rosie's giving her side of the story again about what happened. I felt disrespected at my own house. Rosie is still telling this story. I wish she had kind of wait a little bit and just left things where they were. Thank you, Linda. 8 in the chat, 8 likes. I appreciate that. AB says the whole place was watching the cast because every time they 10 people were filming the ladies. I saw the lady, just see the lady with her phone up, just like this. I'm like, they are filming, they're doing everything, but they know better than to post that mess on Reddit or anywhere else. Because if you signed off on you being there, that doesn't mean you get to film and everything. This is still Bravo's film. But I saw that too. Everybody was there. They were filming, probably to show their friends around parties and stuff. I thought it was really funny. So the ladies didn't take long before they got started. Rosie is saying, yeah, she came in with a siren. She came in with a bullhorn. And Liz was saying, well, didn't you have out plans of your house to show her? And Rosie was saying, yeah, I did. She was going to play a joke on me. I was going to play a joke on her. But she started getting disrespectful. She started getting loud. All of that was true. Kelsey did do that. So Jared is up front throwing out questions. Y'all, Jared was so cute. He was trying to keep trivia night on track. And like American Born pointed out, the Rhode Island people, they were listening to Jared with one ear, but they were watching these two tables more. And poor Ashley was standing up saying, trivia has started. Something about the pig from Toy Story. What's his name? Here's Ashley trying to help both tables. What's the pig from Toy Story's name? Is his name Pig? Ashley didn't know none of the answers. Rosie was just getting her story out. So they were all going like back and forth between the two tables. And as Rosie was talking, Liz is still trying to, what was your part in it? What did you do? And Joellen finally said, well, let her talk for a second. So I was kind of proud of Joellen because Joellen usually is on Kelsey's side. We're still hearing about the bullhorn, Rosie feeling disrespected. Liz said, can you not just take a joke? Liz, can Kelsey? She didn't. Kelsey didn't take a joke. And Liz is saying, if your idea of a joke is that she's a slam pig, can you not laugh about that? So then people start looking at the door. We see Rosie getting out of the car. Rosie comes in with a little crown on, a sash, slam pig of Rhode Island. Liz is laughing. Ashley's like, oh my God. Alicia's just looking at her. Everybody's looking. It didn't go off the way that she thought it would. We see a confessional from Alycia saying, I was really looking forward to tonight. I love Aubrey's. And while she's saying she loves Aubrey's, production have put up the real name of the place. It's Audrey's. But Alicia's trying to sell it that I love Aubrey's. It's Audrey's. So they don't know the name of the wisecracking pig from Toy Story. They put down Piggy. And then Kelsey comes in with this slam pig sash. Rosie looks at her and just rolls her eyes. And we get a confessional from Kelsey. If she can't stand by her jokes, if she's embarrassed by it, then that's on her. I don't think Rosie was embarrassed by it. I just think she thought, okay, we've talked about this slam pig thing more than enough. This is really crazy. So Rosie is saying, girl, stop. You're just being ridiculous. So Joellen's saying, oh my God, she got her face covered. And it did kind of look a little bit ridiculous. So the people are pointing at the sash. They're laughing. One man I saw in the back, he was making a move like come on, like he's ready for it to really get started. And it wasn't about trivia. This man wanted these two tables of ladies to really go at it. So they start going back and forth. Y'all, they're kind of arguing. Kelsey, I feel like you should have had a Rhode Island, Warrior Miss Rhode Island sash or something like that. I thought this was a little tacky. I don't think she's proud of being called a slam pig. I think she's embarrassed about it. So Rosie's saying, I'm done with all that. I'm not even going to look at her. The rest of the ladies are laughing. And Ashley's like, I've never been in such a pickle. I don't know what to do. Ashley's getting this look on her face like she's getting ready to cry. Joellen is like, I see it on your face. Don't cry. And so somebody mentioned something about, oh, Rosie. Rosie ended up saying, she said, oh, here's a question. What is a slam pig or a sugar baby for $100? That would be Kelsey. Rosie is a trip. Rosie's one of those people. Once you start with them, you never know when they're going to stop. So it's kind of best not to start with them because Rosie is just casually slamming Kelsey any chance she get. She said something similar in the confessional. So Alycia picks up her drink. They started drifting away from Rosie's table as Kelsey came in to kind of talk to her. until the point where Rosie was left sitting alone. Alycia ended up picking up her drink and going back to Rosie's table, which I appreciated her doing. So here is Jared. What is the name of the big blue bug in Providence? And here's Ashley. Does anybody know the name of the big blue bug? Is it called big blue bug? She didn't know. Ashley, you didn't look at the answers before your husband got up there and was doing that? Y'all, they were a trip. So Liz and Kelsey kind of start arguing a little back and forth with Rosie and Alycia. I didn't like that. So Liz ends up saying to Rosie, not to Kelsey, she ends up saying to Rosie, remember who you are. Stop trying to prove your point. She didn't say this to Kelsey. I think she should have had a conversation with both of them just to make it equal, but she doesn't. I've never seen her check or correct Kelsey. I could be wrong. I don't know what's edited out, but Liz, you're not being neutral. This didn't look good. So Rosie is shocked that Liz has the nerve to talk to her, not say anything to her friend. Rosie's like, I'm getting tired of this. Jared's up there fighting for his life. What does HBO stand for? Somebody knew that was home box office. They still watching the ladies. Was Liz drunk? Liz doesn't eat a lot. I think she takes the gummies too. Liz gets under the table. She's tired of this. I'm getting under the table. Some of the other people start getting under the table with her. The Rhode Island people are looking at these two ladies like, all of y'all are crazy, but at least y'all are getting paid. So everybody's trying to, each lady, not everybody, they're trying to tell their side again. Kelsey saying, I didn't attack you. Rosie saying, you did. And she's just saying, okay, I'm sick of this. Kelsey is pulling her ponytails down. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. She was acting like she was 16 years old. Rosie said, I'm sick of this. I'm tired of this. I'm leaving. And Kelsey was saying, are you leaving? Goodbye. Goodbye. With her ponytails and waving goodbye. Rosie got up, took the bag. They were yelling. The one lady was back there literally filming. I'm shocked Bravo didn't say anything. Kelsey starts yelling. Rosie says, you're being aggressive. And Kelsey says, what do you mean I'm being aggressive? And all of the people in there started looking at them. And Jared, he didn't stop trivia, but he was looking at Ashley like, get them together. Ashley started crying. Are you crazy? Can you do that in here? This is trivia night. And Joellen looked at Ashley like, what is wrong with you? Now, Joellen, you know how Ashley is. I feel like they should have helped Ashley calm the table down. Rosie got up and Rosie flounced out of there. I didn't blame Rosie. Joellen's making that face. She's part of the problem. Liz is still under the table. I wish I were lying. She's under the table. Confessional, Rosie says, I know they thought because they picked on me all summer and I allowed them to be mean girls and gang up on me that I was still going to do it. Wrong. I'm no longer going to do it. Buckle up. So now Rosie is out for blood, y'all. I've seen her on the after show. I've seen her on Watch What Happens Live. She says she's got receipts, and everybody agrees that Rosie is a journalist. She keeps receipts. Rosie says that she is going to drag anybody that drags her, particularly Kelsey, from now until. So I'm looking forward to it. I have to root for Rosie. Ashley ran back into the kitchen. She's back there crying. And Jared is trying to console her. He's like, Ash, calm down. You're at Audrey's. He's letting her know, like, you're at home. You're in your place of business. She's really upset. I can't believe this. They're coming in my house doing this. And I think she should have kicked them out. I would have. They wanted some New Jersey action. Cece, wouldn't have Teresa been flipping tables? And let them come in her place and do that. This was crazy. For Liz to get under the table. Liz, you want to be an OG and an HBIC and all this. Liz could have wrapped that situation up because I don't know why they let it get to that. And they're yelling over poor little Ashley who's crying. They said, watch out, there's gum underneath. They did when Liz got on the floor. Alicia's like, I'm going to get down here with you. Said, watch out, there's gum underneath. Liz was literally under the table. So Liz, we need to see more from you, lady. You're not doing it. Yeah, this was too much. Ashley ran into the kitchen. Jared's trying to console her. I love the way you're telling us. Thank you, Shirai Hill. I try to tell with as much detail as possible. And remember, these Rhode Island ladies, they have a really New England way of talking, and they're also very animated. So thank you. I appreciate that. Cece says, Rosie, they wouldn't keep picking at you. You got those beads together the last time. And Cece, who had to tell her that? Her husband, Rich. He said, try to get along with them. But if they violate again, he says, you got to take it to hell. He let him know. And I agree with Rich. And Rich seems like a really nice guy. He's really sweet. we'll see more of him because it's his event that they're going to. So Rosie has stormed out. Kelsey is sitting there with, and she's got the high ponytails, y'all. This lady's 33. She looks about 16, and she feels like she won. She's like she got Rosie to leave. She also made a friend cry. Ashley's in the kitchen crying with her husband. The whole restaurant is laughing and kind of picking at those two tables. Liz and Alycia and another person are under the table. So did you win, Kelsey? This is ridiculous. I have a lot of notes for Liz. I'm really disappointed at Liz. So Jared's still trying to ask questions. I thought Jared was going to end trivia night, but when he saw all those people in there, he couldn't do it. So Rosie left. Bye-bye. Kelsey's letting her know bye-bye. And I said, Ashley and Alycia, I wish they could have done more to kind of smooth the situation. Kelsey, I didn't expect more Kelsey. Kelsey, to me, I think she and Rosie Ashley's the youngest, actually, and she and Rosie are next. But Kelsey was acting really young. I didn't appreciate that at all. So they are telling Ashley, you're too sensitive. You're so sensitive. I don't think Ashley was being sensitive. I think I don't know that they tried to ruin trivia night, but I think Ashley was doing her best to make Jared think we can pull it off. We can do it. And then keep in mind, their business is struggling. They had a full house. They've been working sun up to sundown. He's usually working 80 hours a week. And I think what this lady did was pretty terrible. So one of the questions, Jared was still trying to ask questions, y'all. What's the name of the president's helicopter? So Ashley knew that. She came back out there. Marine One. Y'all, they were pitiful. But I don't blame Rosie. I would have left too. That's a great way to keep business, his restaurant, coffee shop. I think so too, American Born, especially since now they know it's affiliated with the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. They may think they'll have an Ashley sighting or even to see Jared in there. Ashley said that he has a lot of brand deals. He has a bunch of followers. So they could really make money doing this. I really like this. So they are ending trivia night, which was kind of a disaster, but I think also a pretty big success because, again, they had a full house. So next, this is one of my favorite scenes here. We are back at Alycia and Billy's and Selena's beautiful home. This cast has, hands down, all of them have some of the most beautiful homes that I've seen on the Real Housewives franchises, and I'm including the mansions in Beverly Hills. These are real homes that you would live in. They're gorgeous. They're big. They're clean. They're spacious. They're nice. Rhode Island is really, really nice. So Alycia and Billy are, they're having a scene in their home. Billy's out by the pool. Selena is the little girl. She's their 9-year-old. Remember, they've been engaged for 10 years. Billy proposed 10 years ago. He's still running his restaurants. Alycia ended up having their child, the daughter Selena, 9 years ago. And she sends Selena out, go get your dad. So she goes to get Billy. Billy's like, what do you want? She said, we got something we want you to see inside. So Selena went to get him. The two dogs were even behind Billy. I think everybody in that house is a woman or female except for Billy, because the dogs, they were at Billy's heels, like, get in the house. So Billy came in, he sat down. They have this gorgeous white leather couch. He sits right down in the middle. And Selena and Alycia, they got their hair done the same. They've got lipstick on. They're wearing shades. When Selena put her shades on, I started cracking up because I know Alycia calls her mini-me. So she says, we have a presentation. He said, where you get all that whiteboard from? Somewhere she got the whiteboard from. So they started going through, I'm sorry, I see a couple of, yeah. Sharon says they do have beautiful houses. They do. I love it. Yes, they do. Yeah, the best homes, hands down, to me. So they put poster boards up. She has like Pizza Mamas. That's the name of their business. Pizza Mamas. That's one of the businesses. She has marketing. I feel like she had like a mama, Billy, Selena, even the pets, different pictures of t-shirts, like marketing, merchandising, that sort of thing. And Alycia starts out giving her little spiel that she and Rula talked about on the beach. We know Rula is a financial planner, not just a financial planner. She's a certified financial planner and a chartered financial consultant. Rula is really top of the line. American Born is confirming. That was Alicia's idea to name it. She named it Pizza Mama because One of the names that he had for it was Pizza Bruno or something like that. I can't imagine now their restaurant being called Pizza Mama. We see a lot of their merchandising. Alycia is in, looking beautiful, selling the place. She has come up with most of their marketing, most of their ideas. Her and Selena are kind of just giving Billy all these different marketing strategies. He finally looked Selena in the face. He said, "What are you doing with lipstick on?" Selena looked to Alycia. Alycia says, "Well, she's kind of on the team with me. We're working together to give you this presentation." So Billy just starts laughing. He thinks the whole thing's really cute. But Alycia starts running it down. She's got a notebook. She's got everything going on. He said, "Why don't you just," she said, "I have marketing and merchandising. I can show you. I have it set up on the site." He said, "Why don't you just set it up on the TV?" She said, there's something about the HDMI. He's like, "Well, just hook the HDMI up." She said, "Well, I don't even know what it stands for." So that's Alycia being Alycia. Billy gets up and hooked the TV up for their presentation. And y'all, she did pull up the website with merchandising and marketing on it. I was shocked. So she and Selena give this whole presentation. They sit down and she says, "Okay, now you can get your crackers and go out by the pool." Selena is done with her part of the presentation. They're having a mommy daddy talk. She's got her notebook and everything. She says, "If you died, what do you think will happen to me?" He said, "You'll be taken care of." She said, "No, I'll be out on the street." Y'all, Alycia really thinks this in her head because of what happened to her when the father left the family without a home and they had to move back in with the grandmother. Billy is looking confused. He was like, "Why do you think that?" She said, "It's true. I'm not in the prenup." Now, remember, they've been engaged 10 years. There is a prenup that didn't have her in it. He said, "But I have a financial planner. I have everything laid out." We find that Alycia is going to be taken care of as well as Selena. And then she says, "Well, am I going to get 5%, 10%? He says, "Yeah, everything is in there." He said, "Well, show me. You write down what you would think that you'd want me to put in there." She's writing it down on the notebook. Billy's letting us know. And also, y'all, during this conversation, we find out that Billy is also a business attorney. And again, just watching them, I never thought that Billy was going to be like a Lenny out of Miami. I just didn't believe it. But Alycia, because of what she went through as a child, her own insecurities, what she watched her mother go through at the hands of her father, she just didn't buy it. But we find out from Billy that he's already had everything in place. Now, I will scold Billy a little bit. I feel like him being a business attorney, just because he had it in writing, doesn't mean that Alycia is automatically going to believe that, yeah, this is the case. And I think he looks at Alycia just because of how she forgets things and sometimes the way she uses her words, that she's like, "Oh, she's pretty, she's dumb." I don't like him looking at Alycia like that. Alycia's in her 40s. She's the mother to their child. Heaven forbid something did happen to Billy. He needs to know that she knows everything going on with the businesses. So I'm glad that she and Selena did this whole presentation. Production shows us pictures of Alycia as what looks like maybe a 6-year-old. She's in her little pajamas and she's standing in front of her little car bed. She's got her little dolls stacked up by the wall. And we find out within like that same year, the father's taken the home and they're gone. Everything that she has is gone. So I like the fact that he sat there, he listened, he reassured her, and now she's got this job. As long as she wants it, they've been greenlit for a second season. So I'm proud of Alycia. I think she got what she wanted. And Billy was getting his whole life during that presentation. Oh, I forgot the end, y'all. I wrote it down. When they plugged it up and they went to pizza site, they had the marketing. Selena left the room. She came back in a Pizza Mama t-shirt, and that's when Billy started laughing out loud. He was just cracking up. She looked so cute. He said, "You look like a pizza soccer mom," because she had the socks on and everything. And Billy, these soccer teams, they're always looking for companies, restaurants that they'll put their name on their shirt, and then that's free marketing. So I love this. So I think Alycia ends up getting what she wanted. She went into a confessional and she says, "I want to be a role model for Selena. And I don't want her to lean on a man like I've leaned on her dad." So this was a really good scene. It was an important scene. And I love that it tied into the scene that she had with Rula and that Alycia took it seriously. I thought it was really good. That was okay. That is her idea. And again, American Born points out, Alycia has already put so much into Pizza Mama. It needed to be in writing. So if it wasn't, it is now. One of the things she was asking him about the 5%, 10%, and he told her, write it down what you think it should be. I noticed when she wrote it down, there was no more 5%. She wrote down 10%. So Billy was looking at that like, yeah, he was kind of laughing, but I think it is actually going to happen if it hasn't happened already. He sounded like it was already in place. So now the last scene, we are at Rich and Rosie's split level home that we were introduced to last week. Clemmy's in a much better mood, y'all. Clemmy the dog is in her princess suit. She's not confined to the bed because two crazy ladies are fighting in the house. She's kind of walking around, watching Rich get ready, watching Rosie get ready. Rosie's getting ready. She's in the mirror in the living room. She said, because the diva's in the bathroom. Rich is in there getting himself together. He's trying to be Frank Sinatra. Rich is good looking. I think he and Rosie are so cute together. So Rosie tells us every Sunday, Rich has a show at a club called Capo in South Boston. It's about 45 minutes away from Providence. So they're going to take a ride over there. She said, I've invited all of the ladies, of course, except Kelsey. I can't blame Rosie. And she tried to explain it in her confessional. Now, usually I'm team everybody gets invited, but she said, this is my husband's job. I'm not going to risk her. If she'll come into my home and disrespect me, I'm not going to risk her causing a scene at his job. So I had to agree with her. She didn't invite Kelsey. She doesn't want her there. And her and Kelsey put hands on each other. And she even ended up throwing Kelsey's stuff out. So I like the fact she wasn't inviting her. Rosie's saying, we're going to have a great night. He performs as Frank Sinatra. And then we go to Liz's home, Liz's beautiful home. And we see her on the phone getting ready with Skylar, one of the daughters. Skylar's really pretty. She has one of the things under her eyes, and Liz is getting herself together, putting her makeup on. They're both getting ready. We see Ashley. Ashley is on the phone with her sister. She's getting ready. Y'all, Ashley is just now dyeing her hair. Ashley, what time are you going to get there? The sister's telling her, mix this, mix that. Where's the gloves? You don't have the gloves? Ashley's like, it's too late. Never mind. She says, you're going to stain like crazy. So Ashley is a trip. Kelsey's in her itty bitty apartment after that old man has thrown her out from the 16,000 square foot mansion, collecting her own trash to put by the door for a new Billy to come by and take out. Kelsey, you're down bad. You got bigger fish to fry than Rosie. So we go back to Rosie's beautiful home with her husband. He's looking good. And they come out. They're getting ready. He's in a tux. And we get the story from Rosie of when they met. She said when we were both working at Kiss 108, she had a crush on him. He was just starting that he wanted to sing. He had put out a video. She said, I didn't realize he was that corny. Y'all, it wasn't that corny. It was like the 90s or something. He was singing some kind of song. He might have been like a Harry Connick Jr. type, maybe, but they were really cute together. He asked me if I wanted to be in the video. So Rich had his own little swag. She got in the video. I guess production was showing her because she said, oh my gosh, I didn't know he was that corny. So I thought it was really cute. She said he might have been really nerdy, but he was also really cool. And I like the two of them together. So I'm happy for Rich and Rosie. Kelsey, of course, is not invited. And she tells Rich, I'm bringing Monique instead. So Rich says, I can understand that. I didn't mind everybody coming, but I don't want any kind of scene to be caused at my job because I sing there every week. So she's like, yeah, that's true. And then we say, let's see. Production showed back at the scene when they showed the lady filming. Rosie says, oink, oink about Slam Pig when Kelsey came in. I didn't see Rosie do that. Now, Rosie, if you want Kelsey to leave you alone, I don't know. You might have to take your little foot just a little bit off Kelsey's neck. I know they've been messing with her all summer, but I didn't see her do that. Production made sure we saw it. Production showed it. So she said, oink, oink. But again, Kelsey, if you're going to wear a Slam Pig sash, then I guess you get what you get. So this is a trip. So they are meeting at, I think it was, they were meeting at Joellen's home because Joellen was there putting together this huge charcuterie board and drinks for the ride. Liz shows up. Alicia's also riding with them. They're a large black SUV. They have a driver. He's already there. So they start putting everything together. And as they're bringing everything out to the car, they got wine. They are excited to see Rich perform. Joellen's like, I've always heard about him. He's great. We're looking forward to it, but I haven't been. And I was shocked they didn't have a lid for the charcuterie board. And we will see during the ride why this is important. So Alicia's getting in. She's got these heels on. These heels are giving her a problem. She's dropping her jacket, dropping her pocketbook. Joellen's laughing at her. And it looks like everything's going to go great. Liz, I don't know. Liz, were you in a funky mood? Blame the menopause. I don't know what's going on. So they're all riding together. They got their wine in the cup. They're eating at the charcuterie board. And they're all talking. Everything's going fine so far. They start talking about Rosie. Liz says, I thought she was being kind of bold. Again, Liz is firmly on Kelsey's side. I don't think Rosie was being bold. I think Rosie has dug her heels in. She feels she has been bullied and she's not going to allow it anymore. So a lot of times when the doormat or the person that's just mild-mannered decides, okay, I've taken all I can take and I'm not going to take it no more. People are like, oh, I didn't know you were like that. I didn't know. No, you took my kindness for weakness and now I'm putting you in your place and now you're upset. So that's where Liz is going from. So Joellen is saying, I think Rosie was hurt. She felt disrespected in her home. I have to give Joellen props. I was kind of surprised at Joellen trying to be objective, and she was. So Alycia is saying, well, that's kind of how Celine is. Celine's 9 years old. She'll try to play with somebody and play with them. And then if they keep being mean to her, she just kind of let it go. And I kind of agree with that. So they all eating off the charcuterie board. Alycia saying, and you know, I love Slam Pig. I've been saying that my whole life. My mother created that saying. Liz is like, wait a minute, your mother created that saying? She said she did. We've been saying that our whole life. My mother started it. I don't know if it's true or not, but I found that really funny. So Liz is saying, no, you could Google it. I don't think your mother created it. Just because you can Google it, Liz, that doesn't mean her mother didn't create it. It is a New England term. I'd never heard of it, but now it's a thing that people, at least that watch this show, are saying. American Born is saying, now it's dumb to take a charcuterie board in the vehicle. I was waiting for the driver to say something, but I guess he feel like I'm going to charge him a cleaning fee. Because, y'all, as he started driving and everything, they were dropping stuff on the floor. There was meat on there, like salami, cheese, olives, fruits, stuff that could, like, stick up your carpet. So they're dropping stuff. One of them picks it up and put it back on there. And Liz was like, don't put that back on there. We can't tell, like, what's been on the floor and what's not. So, again, they did need a lid. Or at least somebody asked about Tupperware, but they had already left. Something, baggies, something. I thought this was doing a little bit too much. So we start hearing from Alycia. Alycia was telling Joellen, I had a chance to talk to my mom. My mom agreed that my dad was a piece of ish. He lost us the house. He ended up keeping the house and they ended up being displaced, and that she was hurt for that. And my mom ended up saying, we saw the scene from the mom. The mom said, I'm sorry to you that I even married that man. So the mother really is trying to make it up to Alycia, and I felt like it was a lot more sincere than Joellen's mother. So Liz is saying that she can't really, I'm sitting here. Liz was in the back at first. I'm sitting here in the back. I need to be where I can talk to the two of you. She was in a weird mood. So the driver pulls over and lets Joellen end up climbing over the seat. Liz ends up getting in the front. So, well, the passenger side next to Alycia. Nobody was up there with the driver. They start talking again. And then Joellen and Alycia were letting Liz know it was a little bit insensitive, the way Liz reacted at Newport. Production shows us the scene where she was kind of wagging her finger at Alycia saying, you were never homeless. You were never homeless. And Liz did go on and on about that. And Alycia kept saying, what I wanted to express to you without you dissecting what I'm saying is, I was a child. We lost our family home. My mother and I had to move back in with my grandmother, and I was homeless. And Liz is saying what I'm saying. People in America, when we think about homeless, you're outside under the stores in a sleeping bag. Liz won't see it any other way. Y'all, Liz had such blinders on. I was so shocked at Liz's behavior. So Alycia starts getting kind of like choked up, and Joellen's having to tell Liz, don't yell, don't point your finger at her, because Liz getting really kind of assertive, since people don't like aggressive. I would say aggressive, but because I know Liz wasn't going to do anything and she was just animate and animated, I will say assertive, but I didn't like how she was talking to Alycia. So Alicia's telling her, don't tell me what I went through with my family. And we see her in a confessional, and Alycia pulled a Kathy Hilton. She said, Know your role, know your place. Don't try to speak for me. Don't try to speak for my family. I was agreeing with Alycia 100%. She said, when you do that, you don't listen to the fact that you have hurt me and I'm your friend. Now I see your true colors. I see you as a snake. She said that in the confessional. She also said it in the car to Liz. Now Liz is really getting upset. Joellen's leaning up. I know you were hurt. Liz, acknowledge that Alycia was hurt. Liz is doubling, tripling, quadrupling down, and Alycia is saying, she don't have to say that I was hurt, but I see you. I see you for who you are. I see you for how you are. To me, that's like snake behavior. Now Liz has the nerve to be getting insulted. And she tells Joellen, this one back here in the green and white, because Joellen's in this pretty green dress. This one, she just you being two-faced. At the dinner, you said, even Gary said, Gary knew her as a kid. She wasn't homeless. So now Alycia is looking back there at Joellen like I was topic of conversation when the couples went to dinner. And Joellen's looking kind of embarrassed. Yeah, this is true. And she keeps saying, even Gary said it. And Joellen says, if I say something wrong, I'll fix it. Gary said it. She said, but we can't tell Alycia how to feel. And I'm not willing to say that they weren't homeless if she feels like because they lost the house and moved in with the grandmother, they were homeless. They go back and forth on this a long time. Liz is reaching over to the thing, trying to like pull Alicia's hair and soothe her. Alycia, you know I don't mean it like that. Now, in certain franchises, if you're in the middle of a heated argument, you can't really touch each other like that. You can't tug hair or do any of that stuff. And they're in a car. There's no security to jump in. But Alycia is just telling her she's upset. You don't know how I felt. I don't appreciate the way they go on and on, y'all. It went back and forth, round in circles. Joellen keeps leaning up, telling them, stop. Alycia goes in her pocketbook, takes out her shades, puts them on. Now Alicia's really crying. Boo-hoo tears. She's really, really crying. And this makes Liz so mad. This is where I got upset with Liz. I didn't like this. So Liz, instead of telling her she's messed up, she's going, oh, she's clapping, being real sarcastic. Alicia's still crying. That's okay. We're finished with it. Joellen is saying, okay, everybody apologize to each other. Let's end this conversation right now. Joellen knows it's getting to like a dangerous place. And she says, I'm sorry. Alycia said, I don't want you to be sorry. She said, you couldn't wait to dissect everything that I was saying. I was trying to be vulnerable. I was trying to be a friend to you. Amen. Alycia ends it like a prayer. She ends the argument like a prayer. She said, amen. So I was kind of laughing, but Alycia was still crying. So Rich and them are there. We flash. They are there getting ready and everything. Then we come back to the car. Liz is yelling, you brought it up. You the one. You brought it up. And Alycia was saying, I brought it up because I was telling her I had a chance to speak to my mother. Remember, we had a scene earlier, maybe a couple of episodes ago. Joellen and Alycia met when they went to Newport, as a matter of fact, and bonded over what they went through in their childhood and with their mothers. So that's why Alycia told Joellen, I got a chance to meet with my mom, and she apologized to me. So for Liz to jump in and still try to make light of what Alycia was going through, I didn't like it. So Joellen is saying, you are wrong. Fix this with Alycia right now. Do you love Alycia? Liz is like, I love Alycia. I apologize 1,200 times. Have I apologized 1,200 times? She gets in the confessional yelling, I've apologized 1,200 times and I'm not going to apologize again. I said, I must have missed 1,999 times. I don't remember Liz apologizing until right here in this SUV after Joellen was screaming at the top of her lungs, please apologize. And Alycia was balled up against the door crying. I don't remember Liz apologizing. I just don't. So she's still crying in her shades. I don't want to be a victim. It's just getting weird. I don't want to be a victim. And y'all, Alycia kind of reverted to maybe 6 or 7 years old. Liz, this is terrible. You didn't look good at all. This was really bad. American Born said, Liz is mad at Joellen as well. It's just crazy. Yeah, she was doing a lot. Kiwan JTV, it is great to see you. This is one of my fellow content creators, everybody. Good evening, Miss Sandra and chat. If y'all are not already over there, please go to Kiwan JTV and support. She's speaking to everyone in there. I don't remember any apologies either. American Born, I didn't know where she was getting that from. Maybe in her mind. I don't know. Liz, you got these menopause gummies out. Send me a couple. Because she clearly could not remember, y'all. This was crazy. Production shows us the picture again. Alycia in her little purple aerobics jumpsuit standing in front of her bed. And then she's telling us she's got a 9-year-old daughter. What she went through, she would never want her daughter to go through. So this is a lot deeper than Liz is allowing Alycia to feel. And that's what really bothered me. CC greets Kiwan JTV. That's what really bothers me. She's supposed to be a friend. So Joellen says, we're going to leave this. We're going to talk about it later. So they get to the place. Joellen actually was screaming at the top of her lungs, stop. And then it didn't really stop until Alycia just kind of like folded into herself toward the window. Liz was furious because before that, Liz was yelling. She was pointing. Liz got very aggressive. I was shocked at that. So Liz, you're my Gen X girl, but we can be wrong. You might be the oldest one, but you can be wrong. You can hear from the other ladies that you're wrong. I didn't like this at all. My sister wants some of those gummies as well. Yes, American Born. Apparently, they're still in production. I know they got one flavor they were working on, that blueberry, raspberry, whatever it was. I'm going to try them whenever she gets out there. I can't wait. Kiwan J is speaking back. I think that's an amazing product. They worked on Liz because Liz has been crazy. As crazy can be this whole episode. Under the table. Just a mess. And then Alycia is sitting there. She's totally quiet. They pull up to Cabo. Everybody is kind of silent as they come in. Alicia's still in her shades. Oh, y'all, before they got out of the car, Joellen says, you guys, we're here. We're here to have a good time, please. She said, Alycia, I'll give you a couple of crackers. I thought that was so sweet. Alycia was crying. And then Liz was saying, I apologize. I already apologized. Liz, you did not apologize. I don't even think she apologized now. I may watch it again. So they get there. They go in. And I have to give Joellen props. I really like the way Joellen acted. So they're all at the table that Rich has reserved for them. They're all sitting together. Alicia's crying behind her sunglasses. They pan to Liz. Liz is furious. Now, keep in mind, the other ladies that came separately, they don't know what happened between the three of them in this SUV. They're really mad. So Liz goes outside, not to take a cigarette. I don't know. She might have been going to chew a gummy or whatever. Liz, with her little self, she is wound so tight. She goes outside, kind of like a smoking area, but she's right outside. Joellen knows something is up. Joellen comes out after her. So Joellen, they're still friends. Joellen's standing next to Liz. Liz goes just like this. Get the F out of my face. And Joellen said, what did I do? I was kind of surprised at that. I said, Liz, tread lightly. Joellen's been in children's homes. So Joellen, she's no slouch either. I think she'll fight if she had to. But Liz didn't touch her. She just had her finger like that. She said, what did I do? So now they were kind of in each other's face again. And y'all, that was the end of the episode. Let me see if they said anything else. They pan to Rich up there singing. I don't know. I hope we get to see some of them singing. So let's see. That was it. This episode, I have to give it a 10 out of 10. A lot happened, but like not so much. I can't really describe it because we had the aftermath of last week with Rosie going around her home, saging. She said, I got my protection spray. She was doing everything that you should do when a demon leaves your house. Then we had the scene with Jared and Ashley at trivia night. Ashley ended up crying. And then we got Liz on the floor, under the table, finding gum under the table, just a mess. And now Liz has basically verbally jumped Alycia. Alicia's in tears. Oh, also the scene alone, we get a Rula sighting. Thank you, Rula, for helping Alycia with her finances. She gives the presentation to Billy. There's enough little things that happened during the episode. 10 of 10. Everybody showed up to work except Rula, but she's got a doctor's note. Again, Sharon said, Liz didn't mean that apology at all. This is one of like, here, dag apologies. She didn't mean it at all. The more Alycia cried, the madder Liz got. I got to see more of Liz during this season. Liz, I didn't know you were like that lady. That was mean. American Born says, sure didn't. I'm not the only one that missed it. Liz didn't apologize. And she was, I apologized 1,200 times. And I'm like, I don't think you apologized once. American Born gave it a 10 as well. Great episode. Yeah, 10 of 10. This has had more 10 episodes than not. Cece's a teacher that makes you better. 8.5. Y'all, that is high praise for Cece. So this was an excellent episode. I can't wait until next week to see Rich singing. I might have to try to find him on YouTube. Y'all, I love a Frank Sinatra, Harry Connick Jr. vibe singer. I love it. And then we get Ashley, our poor sweet baby. Ashley is crying. Linda's a tough grader too. She gives it an 8. Y'all, with all these 10s and then an 8.5 and an 8, it's a 9. It's an A. The season is an A season, A+ season. We're loving it. Andy Cohen, you did your big one on this. I loved it. I'm going to get in the Reddit streets down on Skid Row and find out what else is going on with these crazy ladies, y'all. This is a mess because Rosie is on the rampage. Rosie said, buckle up, Buttercup. She said, wait until reunion. She's bringing all her receipts. So Cece says, replay gang, hit the like button, drop a comment, and let's hype this video up. Thank you, everybody. I'm already a little ahead of where I usually am with the Atlanta one. So this holiday, if you're not doing anything else, put it on, let it play, like it, hype it. American Born is laughing. I love that about this. I got a chance to laugh. Even though I saw my 2 girls in tears, they'll do better next week because I think Alycia, after she stops crying, she starts fighting. So she's going to come out of her corner fighting. Liz, you messed up. You better apologize. Nobody said 1,200 times, but at least once or twice. I will take Rhode Island over New Jersey. Linda Gamble, I will too. Jersey's coming back, so we'll see what they do. They're going to feel kind of like a fire's lit under them, so we'll see. Then we got Next Gen NYC coming back, y'all. So Gia Judice, she's bringing her little Jersey self over there. And they're adding Brooke Shields' daughter, Rowan, and somebody else. I can't remember. They're adding somebody else. So, and then we got everybody coming back as well. Riley, Charlie, Longface, George Washington. Everybody's coming back. Hudson and Ariana threatened to break up. I don't know. I think they're back together. I'm not sure. So we'll see. American Born says, yes, find us some good stuff, please. Yes, I'm going to have an extra. I'll try to arrange it sometime tomorrow morning. So it'll be Real Housewives of Atlanta because we know those ladies jump back onto social media and they start yakking again. So we will do it. Cece said, I wish a Black young man was added. Me too. It would kind of balance Riley. And her boyfriend, he graduated from college. I don't know if he lives in New York or not. Linda says, Bravo is here filming in Hillsborough, Texas, Housewives. What city would that be close to, Linda? For some reason, Real Housewives of Dallas didn't make it, but is that near Houston? What is that a suburb of? Hillsborough, Texas. That's good, though. There's a lot of money in Texas. They could be diverse in Texas if they wanted to, but they didn't do it with their first Dallas. AB says, yes, Next Gen NYC, and they are doing one in California as well, I heard. Yes, we've got Noelle Bailey of Leon and Cynthia. So that is going to be great. I want to know what other kids they're adding, AB. I'm curious about this. I love Noelle's personality. And she said she fluid, y'all. She said you don't have to be a boy. You don't have to be a girl. You just have to be interested in Noelle. So we love it. Is that the new Bravo show there? Yeah, she says it's for, well, is it a Housewives? Waco, Texas. Is it a Housewives-based show or is it something else just in the Bravo verse? They're doing a new Texas Bravo show. Oh, thank you. Okay, so it's not one of the franchise, but it is Bravo. Thank you. I will check in on that. The only thing I didn't like that they did was the cowboy, the McBee dynasty. When I went to BravoCon, you could see them from a distance because they were in those 10-gallon hats. They were nice-looking young men. Their wives were pretty. Everybody was social, but I just wasn't into them like that. And I don't think they were asked back. The McBee dynasty. They tried to make it happen, but it didn't. Thank you, American Born says. Yeah, so that'll be in something else. Not Real Housewives, but a Bravo show. Looking forward to it. I'm always looking for content, as you know. Sis, you're welcome. Thank you, Linda Gamble. Thank you so much. I got to chase down this Ben Tankard versus old John Gray. John Gray, that better not be you. DeVinta, I don't know what she's going to do if that's you. She'll start preaching another word, fire and brimstone, get another car. She got a Lamborghini or whatever that was he got her. Last time he stepped out, we found out. But all of you, thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. It is great to see you. I will see you in the YouTube streets. I won't give a time because I'm not sure, but I say around 7:30-ish. Mrs. Best, she's not in here, but she is another creator that does Rhode Island. I think we'll get a pre-recorded from Kiwan JTV, who was in here. Millichan TV and Anonymous T has the video. Okay, I'm going to search both those down. It's really interesting. Thank you, Shara Hill. I appreciate it. And I love the fact that you don't even watch, but you come in here and listen. So thank you. She said she enjoyed. American Born says, thank you, Sandra. Thank you for coming. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you in the YouTube streets. Enjoy the rest of your holiday, everyone. Bye.
I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me? That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I don't.